And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Chronicles Dallas Cowboy podcast. My name is Troy Hill. We're joined by Lisa Lee, Kyle, and Ron, a.k.a. the Starstruck Fan. We're still celebrating over a dominant Cowboys victory, 33-10 over the Carolina Panthers. Well, I'm not going to say dominant, because it started off sputtering. But here's a clear difference in my mind with this team that makes this team different than other Dallas Cowboy teams. We didn't let the score get close all of a sudden, and we pulled away. If this was Cowboys last year, the Cowboys year before, it would have went down to the last minute. What's your thoughts on that, Lisa Lee?
Yeah, it kind of had a weird feel to it, but at the same time, in the second half, I was very comfortable. I just felt like it was always going to be fine. And I kind of agree with you. Years past, it would have been a disaster. It could have been the Raiders game, on Thanksgiving a few years ago or whatever. It just had a different feel to it, but good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. Some concerns here and there that I have that we'll get to later in the show. But what's your overall thoughts about the game itself, Kyle?
Yeah, it was kind of a slow burn. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, come on, let's go. And I think it's like they tried to get too cute. You know what I mean? Like I said, we talk about this. The stupid Wildcat, they're playing with their food almost. You know what I mean? Come on, man, let's just put this team away. We'll do what you should be doing. Let's not be dumb and let them hang around. You know what I mean? Let's just take care of business. This isn't, Alabama playing, Eastern, Iowa technical school. Let's handle business here. You know what I mean? Let's do this. Yeah, but that's my only thing. That's my only observation. That was at the end, 23-point victories, a 23-point victory, but they got a little too cute, man. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah, but you know what? It is the Carolina Panthers, only one win. I'm slowly for surely just letting that whole concept and ideology go, because in my mind, that rule only applies when it's the Dallas Cowboys. Any other team in the NFL, it does not matter who they win. A win's a win. But how about you, Starstruck? What did you think about the game itself?
Well, first, my cousin actually graduated from Eastern. No, I'm just kidding.
No offense to anybody who went to my fictional school. I'm just
be one that exists out there in the world.
Yeah,
just kidding. But yeah, the game on Sunday against the Carolina Panthers. I think I kind of put out there in the chat that it did have that little bit of a feel at one point in the game where I thought it was going to turn into the Jaguars game last season. Where we had that interception in overtime and bounced off Noah Brown and all that kind of stuff. So it did have that feel that it had that potential, but the Cowboys did what they needed to do. And I spoke with someone on this recently outside of our team and had shared that, the Cowboys are going to use these games, unfortunately, at some point as extra practices against these teams. These are teams they can get away with that. They can't do a whole lot of that because, they could mess around but when you have moments, I expect them to do that because at the end of the day, in practice, they're really not going to be able to do what they really want to do. And at some point, they've got to try some stuff out because it's going to get real live again here the next couple of weeks. Actually, it could start on Thanksgiving because there's a big rivalry coming up, but I know we'll jump in that a little bit later. But yeah.
No, I agree with you that we should be trying different things in these type of football games, but at the same time, I haven't seen a successful Wildcat play since the inception of the Wildcat play. So I don't want to see stuff like that.
Matter of fact, the Vikings quarterback got blown up on a Wildcat play last night.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, that's what it gets. No. That looks like it reminds me of that movie. God, what was the movie with Kurt Russell and Robin Williams? It was a football movie, The Best of Times, I think that's what it was called. And you had Robin Williams out there lined up as a receiver. That's what Dak Prescott looked like out there lining up as a receiver. but I thought overall, these are the victories that you're supposed to have, and if there is a little bit of difficulty, you're just supposed to persevere and just continue on. And to me, this is what championship teams do. You
Yeah,
know,
it could have went sideways real fast. You're right. Yeah,
real
yeah,
fast, real fast. I
yeah.
mean, a couple. I mean, we're talking about Jaguars and stuff. But I mean, a couple of those plays earlier in the game, he could have turned to Arizona from this year
Hmm.
because. I mean, one of my concerns about this team. Let's just look at the defensive side of the ball for a moment. Is still how we're undersized. I mean, just imagine if Carolina would have kept on trying to run and plug the ball. I mean, that could be a different football game in itself right there because we're so undersized. I mean, they could move the ball on the ground a little bit. I mean, what's your thoughts, Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's
I
just a
mean, I mean,
weird.
it
They.
doesn't look like a big thing right now, but it definitely something like that looks like a big. It explains things like when you start talking about in terms of 49ers and stuff like that, right?
What do you mean?
Well, just in terms of just it's still the small body, the undersized kind of thing comes up. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's
On
just
def
me. Yes,
on
on the defensive.
defense?
Yeah, on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Like I felt like Carolina kind of ran it at will, and that always unnerves me because of just like you said, the 49ers are going to come back around at some point. Philadelphia right now, they have decent running backs. Detroit, they have the running back from Alabama. Yeah, so that's always a concern. It's almost like it goes back to remember the days where we used to talk about the bend don't break or whatever?
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're giving up a ton of yards on the ground, but then you have whatever 6 or 7 sacks and a pick six, and it's like, okay, well, so you gave up 202 bills on the ground,
Hmm.
but you won by 23. Like that's what I mean when I say it was a super weird feel,
Yes.
So
What's your thoughts, Starstruck?
Yeah, well, going into the game, one of the things I mentioned is I was interested to see how we would start off and how we would play Carolina because I felt they were going to present us with a little bit more of a challenge than the Giants did, although their record didn't really quite indicate that. I felt that Carolina would play us a little bit differently. For one, we don't have as much film and tape as we do like on the Giants. But I thought it was going to go a little bit like that, that Carolina was going to be a little bit more successful in some things that the Giants wasn't quite in to doing. And it showed, and it did concern me a little bit too, because teams will watch that kind of stuff and see like, oh, they're still having some concerns and issues with the run and try to do those things again. So yeah, even though it was a big score of 33-10, I did look at some of the little things, that we still had some issues with, that still concern me, that I figure in a much bigger game against bigger competition, that some stuff we may still have to still tighten up on before we get down the stretch in those next 4 games or so.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a big problem. It's just a little problems that can turn into one big damn problem when it really really matters. It's kind of like we're taking the bubble gum and we're kind of like plugging up the little leak in the dam or whatever, to try, and it's going to turn into a major leak when it really really counts. What's your thoughts, Kyle?
I don't know. I mean, they only rushed for 110 yards against us. I mean,
oh, for real?
yeah,
Oh,
their leading rusher had 57 yards. You know what I mean? Like they total as a team, I just looked at was 100. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know.
See, but
I know,
I look
but
at it as that they just stopped running. I
they
mean,
did. They did because they fell so far behind in the score. But I mean, but at the same time, like I heard a stat: Dallas has yet to give up a 100-yard rusher this season. They've yet to give out a 100-yard passer this season, and they've yet to have a 300-yard quarterback throw against them this season. You know what I mean? So like all this talk about not stopping the run, they've had like really only like 2 bad games. You know what I mean? And still, it wasn't like they haven't given up a 100-yard rusher yet, which is surprising because I know the Cardinals game and the San Fran game were awful, but
mhm.
I don't know, man. I just yeah, I mean, I get it. I think we're still susceptible, but
Yes.
I don't know. You're right. I think a better team would have probably taken more advantage of it, but
I mean, well,
they're they're
better.
a,
Yeah,
they're a,
that's
they're
a
a, they're a
tough.
poorly coached team. You know what I mean? And they have no talent. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't
Yes.
know.
That's a tough one for me because I see what you're saying, Kyle, but I still look at the fact they had 21 carries for 107 yards, even though you have to combine two guys because they chose to run that way. That's just the style of offense they chose to run with. I don't know. Maybe if they had one dominant running back, like I don't know, King Henry or somebody like that, but 21 carries, they felt comfortable in doing it. 21 times.
I mean, we're in week 11, and they've yet to give up a 100-yard rusher. I don't know. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, if it 107 yards amongst 3 guys, that doesn't really impress me that much. I mean, it's I don't know. I'm just saying.
I see what you're saying, Kyle. I just think it's just so glaring when you look in terms of the Niners and Carolina, or not the Niners and the Cardinals.
Yeah,
because it was so big against them games. It's just, I don't know. It just kind of just like it's always something I always caution a little bit. Yeah. But overall, I mean, the defense did still do. They still do what they do. Lots of pressures. What do you think about that, Ron?
Again, the pressures was there, and I know people don't like to hear that, but it was still a Carolina Panthers who has one of the worst offensive lines in the league right now. I know they're all in the NFL, but every team is not playing at NFL level. 32 teams in the league. So I get that. I get they're an NFL team, but we do know that when he was drafted as Bryce Young was drafted as quarterback for the Panthers, that we knew he was going behind a terrible line. Mm-hmm. And he played a team that definitely took advantage of that. So, and wreaked havoc on that O-line.
Which in essence is pretty refreshing, because we've seen several different scenarios. I think we've talked about it a couple of times on this show, or just even on our chat, that about the Cowboys not taking advantage of situations where they see someone getting injured and they don't automatically go to that side right away. Mm-hmm. So I mean I think it's pretty refreshing that they are making an attempt to take advantage of these weaknesses. What's your thoughts, Lisa?
Yeah, I feel like they exploited. They were talking about it on the post game. Like, the center was obviously outmatched, and he got the yips, and it blessed his heart. Like, I was with my cousins watching the game, and I was like, I would have the yips too if I saw Micah Parsons. You knew he was coming right up the gut, and I'm sorry, but if Micah is on like he was yesterday, he should be an overmatch. Like, he should outmatch any center in the league. I don't care who it is. Jason Kelce, the best center in the league, whoever, because that speed out of Micah, you should be able to outrun everybody. Right up the gut. So, like, if that's what's working, I don't know. I don't know. It just had a really weird feel. I was super happy about the win, but it felt like it was a struggle, even though it really wasn't. Like, it was maybe in the first quarter, they were kind of sputtering a little bit, but I don't know. And I kind of touch on what Ron said about the Carolina having one of the worst offensive lines. Okay, fair, but at the same time, like, that guard that was getting blown up, Corbett, I think, is his last name. He's been hurt, but it's just, I think you got to give credit where credit is due, and I think I'm guilty of it. Like, oh well, it was just the Panthers, but no, I'm going to take the stance that everybody else takes on every other team. A win is a win, ugly or not. 1 point, 23 points. It's a win. It goes on the left side of the column, so.
No, I'm definitely in that boat with you now as well. Because it's just, you just never know. It's like it's any given Sunday, right? Where that team that could supposedly suck could blow your damn doors off and stuff, or you could be this dominant team that just completely just falls apart. So you just never know. Obviously there's teams that are just better on paper or have better personnel on their team, but still, you're in the NFL. So I don't care about it no more. I'm going to give the same type of energy towards my team that other people give to our team and stuff, as far as who we beat. Because we play the same, we all play the same people in our conference, or at least like a mixture of it anyways. But let's talk about Bland. What can't this guy do?
Good Lord.
Let's start with Lisa with that way she responded.
Yes, let's go with Lisa. Go ahead, get your breath first.
Legit, you're sitting there watching it, and I love it so much for him, because when Trayvon went down, the wackadoodles in this fan base, they were like, oh crap, now we got Deron Bland on that side. Let me tell you something. There are teams that would pay $400 million to have those two corners starting next season.
Mhm.
The thing about the way Deron Bland is playing right now, the 1-year deal or whatever for Stephon, okay, cool. You can either stay and be a backup, or it's kind of a luxury of riches. Like, I don't know if that's the right phrase, but you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to worry about that other side now. And now
Yep.
possibly you have two shutdown corners, one on each side. Like, that's glorious. Did y'all hear the announcers yesterday? He has 6 picks on the year, and 4 of those are pick sixes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous, And
just think about that for a second.
See,
that is abnormal.
That's things that me and Ron do in Madden.
Right.
I mean, that's Madden level insanity. But
he has more touchdowns than like 4 teams in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken. Like offensive touchdowns. I think the Giants is one of them.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns, I think, only have like 3 or 4 offensive touchdowns. He's got about as much, if not more, than like at least 4 teams that I saw stated in the NFL, which is ridiculous.
I think he has more touchdowns than Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I mean,
Devontae Adams also has Santa Claus thrown to him. So, no.
Hey, is Santa Claus in the NFL this year?
Fair.
He must be good enough. I mean, he's good to be in the NFL. That's what they say. But let me just go ahead and go back on Bland just one more second too, because I don't want to pat myself on the back or Lisa Lee or Kyle or Ron on the back. But on this program, we did mention that it was going to take Bland a little bit of time to get rolling, and we all thought that he was going to be fine. I just figured I'd go ahead and throw that out, as rest of Cowboys Nation was setting the earth on fire, like there was just no hope in the world, and the people that complained about Bland his first game and stuff, they're all cheering for the guy now. But anyways, we got us a nice little receipt.
There's a phrase for that, but it is inappropriate for public access radio.
Oh Lord. We're on public access radio? Wow, that's more than what I thought we were. Anyway. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the offensive side of the ball. It wasn't lights out crazy like it has been for Dak the last few weeks, but still an overall great performance, I thought, by Dak Prescott. Thoughts, Ron?
Yeah, he did. It wasn't like you said. It wasn't lights out. I think threw for like 180 something yards or so.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't light it up, but he did what he had to do in a game that was like this, where he had to do minimum just to get, just be safe with the football. That's all we're asking in a situation like this. Get your reps in, make the throws that you need to at times. And he did that, by every standards. Pollard did what he had to do, but, he had the 5 yards a carry. Yeah. So
yeah, he was running with a little bit of anger. And that Dottle, I just love watching him run. But I'm not one of those that start talking about let's shuffle the whole damn roster around and start like having other people start before we, like me and you talked last week, Ron, with the Julius Jones Barber thing, because that's kind of what it could end up being conversation wise after the season's over. Which I still think it doesn't matter what Pollard does this year; he's still not going to be a Cowboy after this season, anyways.
No, unless he takes a huge pay thing, like he just decides, you know what, I just want to come back, and I don't know. I don't see it happening. That's why I can't even figure out what kind of excuse he would use to come back.
No, there isn't no excuse. Well, the same excuse that Cooper Rush made is come back and not be a starter amongst the NFL, I suppose, because he's just a good Joe, I guess. I'm going to turn down these millions to start someplace else. I'm just going to be a backup. But anyways, I think Dak Prescott, he dealt with what they gave him and stuff, and that's another good sign of a quarterback starting to mature a little bit. What's your thoughts, Lisa Lee?
Yeah, I wasn't upset at anything yesterday. I think we've gotten spoiled, or I'll talk about myself. I think I've gotten spoiled with these huge numbers from him. But the 180-yard games, if you look at the quarterback statistics across the league, there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are translating to wins. So I'm of the mindset now, by hook or crook, if he throws for 1,000 yards or 12 total, and it ends in a win, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care, because people, and that's, I think, probably the play. They're going to rag on him whether he exactly throws for 1,000 and 9 touchdowns or 12 yards, and he's in the line of fire either way. So
yeah, you're right.
Go do your thing, stay settled, grind it out, and let the chips fall where they may. I do still believe, and it's not just him though, I do still believe there is a mental hurdle with the team collectively where San Francisco is concerned.
Yes. No, I agree with you on that point.
But Philadelphia right now, not impressed. Kansas City, even right now, not that impressed.
No, yeah, I still think
it feels like it's wide open.
Yep, I still think Philadelphia's the worst 8-1 team in history. You know, I really do feel I really do feel that way. Well, anything else on the Carolina Panther game? So I guess let's go ahead and dive on. Oh, go ahead.
I don't really feel like something I don't know if y'all saw it too. Like something happened to CD, and now then today he comes out that he's on the injury report with an ankle. But something happened to his mojo, his swag. I mean, like even when he caught the 1 touchdown pass, like he was kind of just, and maybe he was just in a lot of pain. He wasn't his normal, celebratory self. So
yeah,
watch, just kind of sit tight and watch for this week.
Mm-hmm. So, oh God, I was getting ready to say the other team name instead of the Commanders. Sorry, I was just so used to it. But I mean, Commanders and stuff. It's still the Commanders. It's still a team. It's still in our conference. It still could potentially be a dogfight. Thoughts, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, you got to worry about that because it is Washington, and they seem to have our number, or they always play well against us. I don't know. They're a bad team, though. They're a poorly coached team. There's a bad team. Sam Howell he's destined to be a career backup in the league. You know what I mean? And they just lost to Tommy DeVito, for Christ's sakes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just, I don't know. I mean, but who knows with this team? I mean, they played Philadelphia close 2 games. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not super nervous about it. Oh, except for the fact that it's a division game. You know what I mean? So, but other than that, I don't really know what to say. I mean, I'm confident. I'm not saying we're going to win by 24 points or anything, but this is a game we should win. I feel like our offensive line's playing a lot better. They're gelling. They haven't let us a sack in 2 games. And,
you're right about that.
Yeah, I think they're, Dak's using his legs a little bit when he needs to, and the running game's, I think, slowly but surely steadily improving. So, I mean, the only thing is it's a short week, you know what I mean? And if people are injured, I get a little worried about that, but they deal with this every year, so they're used to it by now. You know what I mean? They're used to it, So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm thankful, that Cooks is starting to cook, so to speak. So
yeah,
I mean,
I just think they're
fine.
Yeah, I think they're just a bad team, and like I said, I think their coaches are I think they suck personally. I think Rivera and Bieniemy are not good coaches. So I don't
know. You have any worries, Ron?
Yeah, a little.
Okay, elaborate.
Throw out the window what has ever happened in week 11 going into week 12. It does not matter. I've shared this before. We've smacked somebody fully the week before and turned around and took an L the next week. Granted, it was against a better team, but it's Thanksgiving. It's a rival team. It's Washington, who's known to play us tough. Throw it out the window. They just got embarrassed by the Giants. Every team steps up against the Cowboys. Panthers just didn't have enough to do it. I think Washington will press the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, and I still am confident they will win, but I don't know if it's going to look as easy as the last couple of or a few games that we've had against other teams. I think they will press because it's a big stage. Everybody's going to be watching this Thanksgiving game. You don't want to get the breaks beat off of you on Thanksgiving in front of your family. This is including Cowboys and Washington. Cowboys, we've shown that they can do that. They can get the breaks beat off in front of their family. We just hope that does not happen. But Washington, They're on a big stage against the Cowboys. They would want nothing else better than to take the Cowboys off of this win streak by beating them at home and ending the win streak. So I think they're going to really press them. I just don't know to what degree, and I don't think it'll be enough to win, but I think it's going to be tougher than what we've seen the last few weeks, unfortunately. But I hope I'm wrong always.
Well, if you're a Cowboys player, happen to be stumbling along, listen to this podcast. I hope you did not listen to Ron, because you're not going to be motivated in playing this game at all. I mean, Jesus.
No, doom and gloom. My God.
I mean, Jesus. That was like the most doom and gloom I've heard ever from you.
Prove me wrong and go out there and beat the brakes off of Washington. Prove me wrong.
Okay.
Prove me wrong.
Lisa, can you be a little more positive?
Of course. This is the beautiful thing about this particular show. 3, 5, 6, however many weeks ago when we played the 49ers, I was ready to jump off my balcony. Everybody else is like, it's going to be fine. It's not that big a deal. It's going to be fine. No worries, whatever. Now I have 0 worries going into Thursday.
Well,
6 turnovers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
6 against the DeVitos.
That matters. What do you mean it doesn't matter? It matters.
yeah, I do. I just expect. I mean, I still think we're going to win, but now, like Ron, the Ron cloud is like could have like just dimmed everything. Now I'm thinking about something like, damn.
If they still had, I feel like if they still had their pass rushers, I'd be a little more nervous.
Okay,
I'm not saying they're not going to score.
One of the pass rushers they get.
Yeah.
One of the pass rushers they gave up for a 3rd round draft pick.
That's true. I forgot.
But they gave them both away. They gave them both away.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I did not consider that. I will truly admit I did not consider that.
No, and I get where Ron's coming from, but like I said,
Sure.
it is a division game. I get that, but like they're not a good team at all. They're really not. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not saying we're going to blow them out. I'm not expecting to blow, but I mean, like I expect Dallas to win, but like they're just not a good team, and I don't know. But I get it. 'Cause I get nervous by any division game. I always do. You know what I mean? But
I don't know.
They're bad. They're bad.
The way Ron described it made me want to go smoke a cigarette again.
Don't do that.
It's been almost 2 years and stuff now.
Damn.
Jesus, man. Man, Ron.
I just did not consider that they got rid of their defensive guys, and I just thought it would be the defense would really press the Cowboys into some mistakes, penalties, and things of that nature to keep this game closer than it should. But I forgot those pressure guys aren't on the other side anymore. So
okay, all right,
it could be a blowout.
You ever see that meme of Ben Affleck standing outside smoking a cigarette, looking like he's worried?
yeah.
That's almost where you had me at, Ron.
I never like to take what happens in one previous week to the next week, though. I definitely hope the Cowboys don't make that mistake.
But you know what? I hear you, but you know what? I think with how the Redskins play the ball plays exactly in Dallas' hands. You know who's leading the NFL in pass yards right now? Sam Howell. They're going to pass. He threw 3 interceptions last week. You know what I mean? Like, if they get into a position where they're passing every freaking down, I think that plays right into our hands. You know what I mean? That pass rush will get after him, and they'll make mistakes because Sam Howell is Sam Howell. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, and I totally get where Ron's coming from, and I agree with him to a certain extent. But like I said, I just think if it gets to a pass game where he's throwing 45 pass attempts, bring it on. You know what I mean? Because I think that plays right into our hands.
Yeah.
Give me some sacks. Yeah. Give me some sacks. Give me some interceptions from Dron Bland. I mean, I think, go
ahead and break the record, not just tie it. Like,
yeah.
God, that guy is just ridiculous. I just can't even get over how ridiculous he is.
Let's go to the more ridiculous part of his little equation. He fell to the 5th round.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He was a 5th round draft pick. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, right.
Wow.
But I think about the game coming up, Ron, you're forgetting the most important factor. Jimmy is going into the Ring of Honor. The curse is lifted, my friend.
Yeah, come on, Ron.
I was actually talking to the Eagles person about that. They didn't realize there had been a curse. I'm like, oh, really? Okay, we're not even going to get it.
Yeah, so I guess that's an excellent thing to close the show off with. Also, congratulations to Jimmy, because this is well overdue. It's like when Lisa posted on the group chat, because this is a noon game. I'm half awake as it is already. I just read that. I'm like, what? Huh? I'm like, really?
Legit. I was sitting there. I was at my cousin's house, and we were all playing cards, right? And so my cousin got up and turned on the pregame show, and we're sitting there, and it's Jerry and Jimmy talking in the booth, and I was like, oh my god! And it was like it was slow. And I said, Scott, are you kidding me right now? I said, this is about to happen right here, right now. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, is he really going to put him in the Ring of Honor? And he was like, no way. We stopped the card game. We all got up and went into the living. I mean, it was like, oh, my Lanta, it is happening. I was like, I think I'm going to cry. This is real girl tears.
Yeah,
I woke up to it. Yeah. I woke up at 1 o'clock on the dot. I'm like, holy shit, what?
In the year of 1923. So
yeah, 1923.
Yeah. Oh, bless. He butchered it.
It'd be messed up. It's like, I said what I said, 1923. Yeah. You'll never ever be part of the ring.
Yeah, he butchered it. Yeah, we're gonna time travel and go backwards to be forward.
That was definitely a good year, 1923.
But even Jimmy, he tried to play it off all these years like it didn't really mean anything to him. But you could tell yesterday that it really did.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I think even the way the guys in his studio, like that are on that desk, like Terry and Howie and Michael and Gronk, and I can't even remember the other guy's name, the main host, Kurt. Is it Kurt Menefee?
Yeah. Actually, Kurt Menefee, he's actually was a radio host here in Dallas. He was one of the original hosts of the Ticket.
Oh, really?
Yep, him. He was on there, and the other guy, the guy I can't stand, the guy that's they used to do the show with Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, Skip.
Michael Wilbon.
Yeah, no, Skip.
Skip Bayless.
No, Skip was on. Yeah, Skip was on the Ticket. Also.
I knew Skip was, but
until he got ran out of town.
So the way they were kind of all acting like it was the day he got into the Hall of Fame. So that tells me that they all knew that it meant a lot to him. So I'm just happy it finally happened. Like, we can joke about it all we want about the curse or whatever, and you know. But it was just a really cool moment, I thought.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you can put anybody in that you want to at this point now. I mean, line them up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was kind of quick. I got all the respect in the world, and it was truly much deserved for DeMarcus Ware to go in. But to go in before Jimmy, I thought was like, wow. But yeah, all respect. DeMarcus Ware definitely deserved to go in. But now anybody else, I'm not questioning anybody else going in.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I almost think it was kind of tacky they let him wear it. Well, I mean, to me, in essence, it's tacky to let him in, and all of a sudden we're going to do another one later this year or later. They put another person in. So I kind of wonder what changed in a couple of weeks.
I know. It's so weird. Yeah.
Well, did a rich doctor have some tarot cards out for him and told him, this is the only way you lift the curse, Jerry?
Yeah.
I don't get it. And then it's like he butchers a year. He butchers DeMarcus. Did he call him DeMarcus Lawrence?
Yeah, he did.
DeMarco Murray.
Every time I said weird just then, I had to be careful. Every time I was saying weird just then, I had to make sure I was.
Yeah.
I like to welcome Kavika Pittman to the everybody. But anyways, that's all I got for this evening. Thanksgiving right around the corner here. I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
You have any final words for the people, Lisa?
Settle down. Enjoy Thanksgiving. This game is not one for you to worry about. Worry about your ratchet ass family sitting across from you more than you need to worry about this football game.
It's probably about just ratchet people, some of the ratchet ass fans, because I can tell you
exactly.
I can tell you. No, I mean, if they did not announce the score on a game, if you're just oblivious to the game and you were just watching what people were posting on Facebook, you would think the Cowboys are getting their ass smashed or whatever in that last game. Straight up, you would think if you didn't know what the score was, you would think we were getting murdered on the field. But anyways, I mean, I don't see how some of these people. I don't understand how anybody would want to sit with some of these people watching the football game. It has to be the most horrible experience ever, where someone's literally complaining about every damn thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, what do you got, Ron? Any final words for the people?
No, I think Lisa kind of hit on the head. We all about Cowboys every day, all day, type of stuff, and Thanksgiving and Cowboys, and trying to hope that they don't affect our mood based on the outcome of the game. But truly, it's about sitting at that table and gathering who you gather with, and just the blessings that you've been given in this year, and taking that time in the company that you are with, because you just never know. We're some crazy times these days, man. So cherish the holiday. Happy Thanksgiving to you all here on our team and those that are listening in abroad. Just have a great Thanksgiving.
All right, very good stuff. How about you, Kyle?
It's so funny, and you guys are gonna think I'm crazy. I actually stopped going to my family's house on Thanksgiving so I can watch the Dallas Cowboys game in peace. Like, so when you say, "Oh, you enjoy family," and no, 5 years ago, I stopped going to my family's house for Thanksgiving. Now I do it by myself. My girlfriend, and even sometimes my girlfriend will go to her family. It's like, no, I'm staying here, and I'll just dude, because I want to watch the game in peace. I don't want to have to get up and go sit at a table and turn off the TV. So I stay home now. I make up excuses.
You know what? In all honesty, I can respect that, because you know what? I mean, I might see my kids like briefly. I'll definitely hear from them, but I have absolutely zero plans. But
no, I tell everybody, leave me alone.
I'm completely content, because at the end of the day, I'm thankful for so much, because my life could be so different.
I hear you.
All the different things I've dealt with, all the different things I've dealt with for the last 2 or 3 years. And this is how it's going to be and stuff, where I have to sit and watch a game by myself. My favorite team I love more than any damn thing on a Thursday. I'm completely content. Bills are paid. I'll have some food to eat, and that's all that matters. That's all I think that the true things you're supposed to be thankful for. It's not what the Joneses be trying to do, keeping up with each other. It's not about that.
Exactly.
It's literally a time to truly, even in the spirit of what Kyle said, be thankful for peace, however that looks for you. If peace for you is being with a bunch of family, cool. Then be thankful for that. If peace is being by yourself because your family is wackadoodles, be thankful for the ability,
toxic is the word
to do your own thing.
No, I hear you.
And just the everyday stuff I want to be more thankful for the small things, not just the big grand things that happen. Like a car that gets me to and from work, and a roof over my head, and a heater that works, and so yes, that's a very good message to end on.
It's like all those little things that you think that are little. I mean, they really build off to, they kind of transform and merge into just like one big thing, and I just think,
well, and there's so many people out there in the world that are praying for the things that we have. There's people that are homeless that would love to, be in an apartment or be in any other place but where they are. Or there's, so that's where, I'm trying to challenge myself and my circle that I talk to all the time. Look, I go to the gym every day with 2 of my friends, and it's okay, we get up in the middle of the night basically. And it's but I'm grateful that I have that opportunity to work out with 2 of my friends, so just don't get lost in the grind of every day.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yep. I mean, because this is just a bigger picture to everything. It really is. And it has nothing to do with material stuff at all. Because I see people have all the money in the world and stuff and all the possessions you could possibly have, and they seem to be pretty damn unhappy. And it's crazy. But anyways, behalf of myself, Lisa Lee, Ron, and Kyle. We wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you guys again. And how about them Cowboys? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Star Chronicles Dallas Cowboy podcast. I'm Troy Hill, joined here with Kyle and Lisa Lee. Cowboys had a big game on Thanksgiving, a victory of 45-10 over the Washington Commanders. What's your guys' thoughts on this game? I was highly impressed. Well, let's go ahead and start off with you, Kyle.
Yeah, it was kind of closer than it should have been, around halftime, and then Dallas just pulled away like they do, man. In the second half, they just, these teams with lesser talent and, they can't keep up with Dallas. So eventually, the talent just wins out. So, yeah, it was a good game.
yeah, it's pretty reminiscent of you're mentioning, even with the Carolina game. It seems like it started off a little bit slow, but they're doing things now that championship teams do. They make teams go night. What's your thoughts, Lisa Lee?
Here we go. That's all I can hear in my sleep. It's Jack's cadence. But no, yeah, I'm the same. I felt like we toyed around with them longer than we should have. I would love for it to be a blowout at halftime, but then, we've had games like that where then we completely let off the gas and then it ends up being closer anyway, So, I mean, yeah, exactly. They did what they were supposed to do. And eventually they were like, okay, looked at their watches like, yeah, let's put these folks to bed. It's time to go home. So
it was like I said, like that team will, if they abandon the run, they play right into Dallas's hands. And that's what happened. They sacked this guy a million times. They got the interceptions, you know what I mean? And, he's just chucking the ball up. And like I said, it just, because the score got so far away from them, that's what they had to resort to. And I'll take that all day.
Offensively, Dak chucking the ball all over the place, still looking razor sharp, running game still coming around. Offensive line starting to block way better. I mean, it's kind of like it's hard that we, a few weeks ago we were so paranoid about this offensive line, and now they gotten it all together. On the running game though, I like to mention, they're not getting like all the things that maybe some fans would want, being all fancy smancy, scoring touchdowns and running all over the place. But at the same time, I love this angry running by both running backs. What's your thoughts, Lisa?
Yeah, I feel like and I feel like Tony Pollard, he kind of started looking like the Tony Pollard that got the franchise tag. You know what I mean? Like he started running. It's almost like something clicked and he's over the injury finally. You know what I mean? Like he looked to have that burst again. And then when he got inside that one run where he actually did score, it was kind of that hard nosed, but I kind of like the different running styles. Like Rico definitely runs like angry runs. Like he's hard nosed, hard hitting, but he's still quick. And I feel like Tony has a little more finesse. I like the two-headed monster for sure.
Yep, I think it totally works with our system, and I think that's something that Kyle can attest to. He's talked about it several times about just the nature or the state of the running back in the NFL. This kind of falls exactly into what you were kind of talking about. Is that correct, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said about the offensive line playing together finally, and we talked about Pollard. We don't know for sure, getting over injury, but like Terrence Steele, it's finally playing like Terrence Steele. I think, Tyler Biotic, he got hurt in training camp. Zach Martin rolled an ankle in training camp. You know what I mean? And he missed half of training camp. But he got hurt week 2 or 3, rolled an ankle or something. We know Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith is playing like old Tyron Smith. You know what I mean? Like he is playing well. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that bye week came at the right time. This line, I feel like they're finally healthy, and you could tell the holes are opening up better. You know what I mean? They haven't allowed a sack in 2 games. You know what I mean? Like, the line is. I think that's why the running backs are playing better. The line's playing better. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yep. And let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. Once again, I mean, the Cowboys are just defensively. Granted, they still do some things that kind of drives me nuts, as far as penalties here and there, maybe lining up, things like that. But all in all, they're doing a pretty good damn job, all the way across the board. And even if Mike is not getting there, there's always somebody else coming along. So what you thought? What are your thoughts on the defense, Kyle?
Yeah, like you said, there's always, they always have like one or two drives. Like, what the hell are these guys doing? How is everybody getting so wide open? But like, I just looked at it. The last two games, it was 10 points, 10 points. You know what I mean? Like, 17 points. Like they always end up coming together. You know what I mean? It's just, like I said, they adjust, or they just, like I said, teams get away from what they should be doing and they play right into our hands. And like I said, I think they're just all around just a good team on every level. They're playing really well right now. So you're right. If it's not Micah, it's someone else, Dorrance Armstrong or whoever. You know what I mean? It's someone. Everybody's getting there. It seems like this year.
Yep, exactly. And we got to give some credit where credit's due. Bland is just outstanding. I mean, it's just not enough I can say about this guy. I mean, he's just been locked in cheat mode and Madden and stuff now for the next several weeks. So last several weeks. So what's your thoughts, Lisa Lee, on Bland?
Well, I feel like it's crazy because I feel like he was struggling a little bit. Not like, I feel like the first 2.5 quarters, not just him, I felt like the secondary as a whole seemed like they were about a step, like Kyle said earlier, like a step and a half behind. Like it felt like the Washington receivers were open a lot. But then it's like, even with him, like that switch got flipped. I mean, I don't know that it did, but it's like once they start feasting on the quarterback, then it's like, okay, everything tightens up and then you get what you get. But like his ability to jump the route, but then, like immediately when he caught it, like the call, Jim Nantz was like, here it is. And then he realized, oh crap, he's still got like 30 yards or whatever, 25 to get to the end zone. And there were people like, commanders like coming in, and it was like, but his ability to jump the route and then to actually find the end zone. Now, a lot of his have been kind of like walk-ins, but
yeah. No,
he's just got that nose.
Yeah, he had to weave around a little bit this time.
Yeah, and it was like, I think the cool thing too for me was, I don't know if y'all have watched the sounds from the sideline. The entire sideline, Dak Prescott, number one, you see him in the video, like running down the sideline when Bland got that interception, but the entire sideline just erupted and they were like so excited for him. And I just feel like it's a kind of a byproduct of what Kyle said. Like they're playing so well and they genuinely, this team, I haven't heard any bad things, coming out of like the locker room, and they genuinely care about each other. And it's starting to show. I mean, it shows on the field. And when you're playing well like they are, in spite of all the, national media or even, about you haven't played anybody, shut up. Like that narrative is it's just played. It's just old and played. But like, it's just really cool to see them playing right now.
And you bring up an excellent point, Lisa Lee, about the we haven't played anyone thing. I mean, it is old because at the end of the day, I mean, granted, yes, we lost to Philadelphia, and yes, we lost to the 49ers, but I mean, the Niners, they've done beat some below 500 teams along the way too. And the Eagles, they've struggled against some of these teams, they're below 500, barely squeaked out a win. So
all of them, they've struggled with every single one of them.
And which I will say again that they're the most overrated 10-1 team in the history of the NFL. And I'm going to keep on saying if the number keeps on going up, so be it. Because I don't see anything about that team that they do that makes me say, oh my God, I'm scared. But, again, just back to the not beating, I don't understand where all of a sudden it's a thing because it's the Cowboys. People try to come with me on that about, on my Facebook account. I'm just like, no, I don't care about people's lack of faith in Dak. I don't care what other people think about who we played. We're winning now, and Dak is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. So why would I not be happy about how my team is? So I can't celebrate. They make you try and feel like that. You cannot celebrate your team winning.
I mean, even Joy Taylor, who we know how she's had an opinion the last several months, even she said they can't help who's on their schedule.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
And we're not just beating the bad teams, we're blowing the doors off of them.
Yeah, so
like I think our average win total, I mean, our average point differential is like 23.5.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But we still can't get no love, which at the end of the day, it's fine. Now what's your thoughts on that, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, to steal a quote from Mike Tomlin, I'm not apologizing for wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A win to win.
That's
Shit, I
true.
mean, yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is like the year the Patriots went 16-0. Does anybody remember what teams they beat? And when the Giants went 9-7 and won the Super Bowl, does anyone know what teams they beat? You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like,
I could tell you one thing, that the Giants probably played higher caliber teams, and they weren't like stranded in like one of the worst conferences for like a decade, like the Patriots were.
Yeah,
so, anyway.
Exactly. but I mean,
no one ever made that argument about them.
All right.
I mean, like, is it we've got 3 losses at this point. We have 3 losses. We're about to be in December. We have 3 losses. You know what I mean? How many teams can say that right now? You know what I mean? I mean, the way I look at it is like, we have 3 losses. I think one was a bad loss. The bad loss to me was the Arizona game. That was a bad loss because you should have won that game. We have one embarrassing loss. That was the San Fran game. And I'm not a moral victory guy, but you could still hang your head high after losing by 3 points to the Eagles. You know what I mean? Like, because you were in that game, and I think if the refs had made some calls that they should have made, I think Dallas probably wins that game. So like, it's like we're losing to the Jets. You know what I mean? With Zach Wilson, we didn't lose to Tommy DeVito. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, we're like, well, at least instead we're beating the teams we should be beating. You know what I mean? So I don't know what everybody's complaining about. Jerry Jones don't make the schedule. Dallas Cowboys organization doesn't make the schedule. They can't help.
Exactly. It's just a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Exactly.
Being a Cowboy fan.
And I want to the Cowboy fans that listen to this that are of that variety that we talk about all the time, just go look up last night's game. Go rewatch Monday Night Football, and then come to me with a legitimate complaint about your team.
Yeah, exactly. Go watch Josh Dobbs throw 4 interceptions. Yeah, Justin Fields not throw a single touchdown pass. Yeah,
and run,
exactly.
Have all this running ability, but when his team, just go watch it. If you think the Cowboys are so terrible, go watch Monday Night Football from last night, and then come back to me. And if you still think the Cowboys are terrible, then you need to go pick another team.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Even I was like, dear Dallas Cowboys, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry I complained so much. That was like having a root canal every 3 seconds.
Yep, I told a coworker this on Monday. It's like, all we gotta do is have Dak win a big game. I'm like, well, they beat Tampa Bay last year. That was a big game. He's like, I'm talking about this year. I'm like, well, no, that's bullshit. He's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, because you're gonna complain no matter what that guy does. So I'm like, it's gonna get real stupid because you're I told him, like, you're one of these people that want to talk about how great Josh Allen is and stuff. And if Dak would have had the game that Josh Allen had and stuff on Sunday night or whatever it was, the Cowboy fans they'd be losing their shit right now.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem with the national media. They can't shit on Dak Prescott right now because he's what is he? Number 1 in touchdown passes. He's like 4th in yards. He's 2 in completion percentage. He's at 70. And he's, I think, like 3rd overall in quarterback rating. So they can't shit on Dak. So now what we're going to do is we need to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Let's talk about who they've beaten. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to talk. We're not going to talk about the fact that Dak Prescott has better numbers in every category than
Mahomes.
Than Pat Mahomes. We're not going to talk about that. We'll talk about who they've beaten. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. That's the narrative. You know what I mean? ESPN, Fox 1 Sports has to talk about something with Dallas. So now let's pick on their wins.
Well, and even like Emmanuel Acha, who I literally cannot stand. Like, I cannot listen. His voice is like nails on a chalkboard to me. But also he went to the University of Texas, so boo. But he's not directly talking about the Cowboys today, but on Twitter, he gave his top 5. If voting for MVP was to be today and he was a voter, here's who he would vote for. And he didn't put Dak in the top 5.
Of course not. Of course not.
And so but then Micah had to comment and was like, are you kidding me? Because it was like Patrick, Jalen. I think it was Jalen. Yeah. Jalen was first. Patrick was second. But Trent Williams was 3rd or 4th. Trent Williams.
Yeah, left tackle, right? Yeah.
And then like Lamar, and I can't even remember who the 5th one was. But then people start commenting about, well, what about? And then you throw up the statistics. Micah God bless him. He threw up the statistics side by side of Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott. And they're literally, I mean, they're basically identical. And it's
the edge is going to Dak. Look at the numbers. Dak has better yards, touchdowns, less interceptions, and a better completion percentage.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not going to say it's like when we're saying this, we're not saying that Dak's better than Pat Mahomes. We're not saying that.
I'm not at all. No.
We're not saying that, but we're saying.
But I am saying 11 games in, if you want to create a narrative, 11 games in, they have exactly the same record and basically the same statistics with a little bit of a nod to Dak. So if you're looking at the 11-game season, like everybody wants to say, we're not looking at the past, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then look at the 11-game sample.
Yeah. They're going to always hold it against them. Patrick Mahomes has won big games. Dak has not. That's the narrative. And that's why, that's all it is. There is a Cowboys bias. You know what I mean?
Until he does.
Yeah.
So, until he does, and then what is it going to be? I mean, I think it's like some of these guys that hate Dak so much, their girlfriends have a thing for Dak. I mean, there's something internally going on. These people, it's just something wrong with them.
Yeah.
When you can sit there and tell me where you would rather have Lawrence or Burrow at this moment, there's arguments where you can say that's true. But you're making an argument saying that you need somebody that's going to win a championship, has the ability to win a championship. College level championships is not the same as NFL level championships. If it was the same, everybody'd be doing it, right?
Exactly.
And Burrow, great quarterback, but hell, until they get a fixed offensive line with that team,
he's screwed. I know.
You might not hear from Burrow after the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's the honest to God truth, So, I mean, I just don't get it with this fascination where people feel like they must hate Dak Prescott. Because that's what, in my mind, that's what it's come down to.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense anymore.
It's clickbait, though. You know what I mean? We all know it.
Even Stephen A. said it. Stephen A. said it last week or week before last. He was like, we do give the same energy to Josh Allen. It's just nobody cares.
Yeah.
But he said it. He said, he flat out said, Stephen A. said, we do talk about Josh Allen, but it doesn't get the attention, so we don't spend that much time on it. I mean, look, he flat out said, we talk about Dak more because you people get engaged and it's more engagement for our shows and our social medias or whatever. He flat out said it.
I know you hate the Packers and you hate Rodgers, but
I do. Yeah. He got a little bit of grace back today.
Yeah. People who play football or know football recognize Dak's good. You know what I mean? Right. Like Acho and LaShawn McCoy, they're just talking heads. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to go down as one of the greatest top 5 to 6 quarterbacks ever to play the game. But to see him talk about Dak Prescott today, I'm like, damn. See, he knows football. He knows what's up. You know what I mean? Like,
no. What did he say? Yeah. I didn't watch that.
I'll send you the clip.
Okay.
I'll send you the clip when we get off of here.
Because I hate the Packers probably more than any entity known to mankind. They're definitely in my top 2.
No,
he was intertwined between them in another group. Anyways,
he was just giving Dak props. He said he's looked like he's mastered the game. He said he mastered the position. It looks like, you know what I mean, with everything he's doing out there. He's not just putting up shallow numbers. Like, he's actually really playing quarterback, you know what I mean? And he gave him a lot of credit. It was kind of funny, you know what I mean? He could have said it about anybody, but he said about Dak Prescott. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Because the reality is you can't have garbage numbers if you're not even playing in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and the crazy thing about it was it wasn't like it was lobbed up. Like, they were talking about, Pat McAfee was on the Pat McAfee show, and he was kind of he was asking Aaron about that. Here we go, the cadence or whatever. And so they were asking some technical questions about cadences and stuff. And Aaron goes, before I get into that, I want to say, and he just went into this little minute and a half kind of thing about how well he believes, he talked about he's getting to watch more football now because of his injury. And he said, Dak Prescott has become one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch because of how he has mastered the game right now.
Yeah, well, that's encouraging.
It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And y'all know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. So.
Yeah, he's kind of a weirdo. Yeah,
anything tied to him and Packers or anything, Jesus. But well, we mentioned the referees earlier. How does the NFL fix this? Because I mean, I know our fan base is always blaming the refs over anything, and it is pretty dumb and it is ridiculous because half our fans don't even know the rules in some cases. But that being said, there's like blatant calls where the referee's standing right there not calling things. So when does these fines happen that they're supposed to be doing? When do these reviews happen that they're supposed to be taking place? What's going on with this deal? What do you think about that, Lisa?
Well, the fact that it's not just it's basically every team that plays the Eagles. Like it happened in Kansas. It happened in the Kansas City game. Kansas City fans were up in arms. Buffalo, it was way more egregious.
That blatant horse collar
game. It was a horse
jersey. Ripped his jersey.
And they called intentional grounding on Josh Allen on that exact play. Like it's so like even last night's game, there was a situation and the guy's face mask had been ripped off, had come undone from like under his chin. It was like poking straight out. So he took his helmet off because obviously he was going to have to go get it fixed. They gave him a 15-yard penalty for taking his helmet off.
Stuff like that. Do you guys have any opinion about that? Was it the last catch? Was it a fumble or was it not? I thought that was actually a good call because I didn't think it was a fumble. I think it happened so fast they didn't have enough time to make a football play. You're
talking about in the Philly game?
Yes.
I don't know that I saw it.
I couldn't watch it. I turned it off because I couldn't stand to watch the Eagles win.
I
turned it off. I was so aggravated. I was like, I cannot watch anymore. When he made that field goal, that was it for me. I'm like, all right, I'm not watching overtime. I couldn't do
it. I didn't realize the field goal was so long. Like I was kind of watching it on my computer.
59 yards. In the pouring rain, Lisa. In the pouring rain, a 59-yarder.
Yeah,
the ball was disgusting.
The ball was a little slick.
I couldn't believe it, Lisa. I was like, "Oh my god, you got!"
So I had it on my phone because I was working a little bit, and so I'm pulling up my phone and I'm refreshing the score, and it was like, "Okay, they're up by 3. It's good, you know." And all of a sudden, it's tied, and I'm like, "What?" Because it said my phone said 4th and like 17 from like the Buffalo 30 or 35 even maybe, you know, and I was like, oh. Well, even if they have to kick a field goal, that is really long in the conditions. And then I was like, I'll be damn. It is tied.
Yep.
And it's just like every time they got in a hole, I'm not going to lie. I'm debating on trying to go to the Philly game, but I just don't. Really? I hate them so much.
Yeah.
And tickets are about twice. They're like the ticket prices between the difference between the Philly game and the Lions game where Jimmy's getting inducted is like it's ridiculous. Like the Philly game is way higher, and I'm just like, I just don't know. My nerves could handle it, especially because it's Sunday night.
Philly, and that could be for first place if they lose to San Fran and we beat Philadelphia, we have the same record. You know what I mean?
We could be in the same situation again, and And let's go ahead and hop into Seattle real quick because I do think Seattle's going to be. It's not going to come easy. We're going to have to punch these guys in the damn face. I mean, that's just the way I feel about it. And you know, Mike McCarthy mentioned earlier today that we're not peeking around the corner at Philly, that we need to focus on. And I like that. I like a head coach to say something like that because that's the way. Yeah, that's definitely the page that I'm on because everybody. You might want to sit down for this. The Seattle Seahawks are an above 500 team, so barely. So hey, we'll see. And you know what you just did there, Kyle. After we demolish this team, that's exactly what they're all going to say.
Yeah,
barely.
I mean, my thing barely is like I have no faith in Seattle. I don't think they're like. Geno Smith is he's a career backup. They're not good. I'm looking at their stats right now. They average 20 points a game. We average 31. Their defense, they let up 23 points a game. We only let up 16 points a game. You know what I mean? Like, we're better than them in every statistical category. And I think, we should beat this team, So.
Oh, yeah, we should beat them, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it'll be like more in the ilk of what we've done the last couple of weeks where we've had, had to kind of settle just a little bit, which I'm cool with. But I'm telling you, I don't want to jinx the thing because I want to know, a couple of weeks from now, if we're a half game up in the damn division, what is that damn dialogue going to be? And I will
Yeah.
be so. I'm telling you guys, I need this to happen in my life so much. It's even just for a week. If it's just for a week, because I want to see what other magical and mystical things some of these people will say. You know, it's ridiculous. I mean, what's your thoughts, Lisa Lee? Are you worried about? You're not worried about Seattle at all either, huh?
I mean, I think it'll, like you said, I think we're probably, I almost said a word that would have had to be censored for sure. I think we're going to toy around with them for 2 quarters probably. And then it'll just be like, because I don't think unless they've retooled their offensive line that I'm not aware of, like I think their offensive line is suspect. And so Dan Quinn, I think, and I don't, they have good receivers on the outside, but I just
their line's terrible. Yeah, their line's terrible.
If they again, it'll be like just like Kyle said earlier. Okay, they're going to try to run it in the beginning. They're going to get down, and then they're going to start passing. And once any team, I put that up on any team, maybe with the exception of the 49ers. But even with them, like if we were able to get to him a couple of times, that's when they lost their 3. Brock was getting hit about every third. He was getting hit a lot. So. If we make a team abandon the run, I'm in. Like I would bet my life savings on a win for the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like once we force their will to have to abandon that run, I like our chances.
They got a 41-year-old left tackle playing who they just signed off the couch 4 weeks ago. You know what I mean? That's how bad their line is. Jason Peters, who is 40 years old, is playing left tackle for them, and he just signed a few weeks back. Yeah, that's how bad they are on offensive line.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I hope this is like a. I hope it's going to be a route. I hope it comes right away. But
I don't want to sound overconfident, but I think it will be.
I'm just at that point where it's just again we're at that spot. We're almost there. And we gotta execute. And it's like
so freaking frustrating because we said. The week that we lost to Arizona, like that game will loom large at some point. And right now it is looming large.
Yeah, it's looming just like it's looking like that big ass Big Mac McDonald's head. Remember that guy, the Big Mac tonight? He's looming like that. That's what that's what that loss is looming like.
But then also when we talked about it in the group chat, like Philadelphia is literally 3 teams shooting themselves in the foot away from being 7-4 versus
right.
10-1. Like we shot ourselves in the foot. Kansas City's receivers couldn't have hit water from a boat catching a ball. I mean, like they couldn't catch a cold. And then the Buffalo thing, like you just gave up. I don't know if they went into prevent defense because I wasn't watching it, but they seem to be giving up chunk plays the other night.
The secondary was terrible. I told my buddy, they look like they have no idea what they're doing back there. They look completely lost. The entire secondary, like. How are these guys wide open? I'm like 3rd and long every freaking play.
Right. So, I mean, that's how quickly it can change. And I don't know. I think Philly and San Fran play this week, don't they?
This weekend, yeah. Sunday,
yep.
yeah.
We need Philly to lose, obviously, because if we could get at least 1, possibly 2, if we could get home field advantage, that would be incredible, especially with the way that we're playing at home. Yeah. But if we could at least get 1 playoff game at home, like that sets up our, but I don't know.
Well, I'm hoping for at least realistically, I'm hoping for a one home playoff game and not playing the Niners. That's what I want.
What's funny? If the playoffs started today, we'd play Atlanta. In Atlanta, they have that team's trash. I'm sorry, Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke are their quarterbacks. And the winner of that game would play Philadelphia if the playoffs started today. I'd be okay with that. I think this team is definitely. I think they're crushing Atlanta, and I think they would beat. I think they could beat Philadelphia in the playoffs. 100%. I believe that.
Absolutely. I'm just not. I'm not there with the Niners because I just think we just match up against them horribly. So
and it's a giant mental hurdle.
Hell yeah, it is. And I don't want that mental hurdle in the playoffs. I mean, not in the playoffs. Either. So yeah, we could have that test in the regular season. Not now. But what else is there? Dak Prescott's going to be a daddy.
I love that so much.
Yay! And we can the funniest comment in the chat feed that we've ever had, that goes to Ron. We probably can't share on the air.
But the funniest part about it is you have to know Ron. Like, Ron is as straight-laced and as he's such a good human. Not that this makes him a bad human, but he's always
was just
like,
funny. It was just funny. Yeah.
We're the ones that are high-strung and we're saying things off the cuff. And, Ron's kind of like the middle of the road, not middle of the road, but like he's the calming source and all that.
Yeah, that was definitely something I probably would have said.
It's really funny. Like,
but yeah, we'll share that maybe someday. But wow. But yeah, I mean, we got another Thursday night game. I guess I'm going to ask you guys: do you have to have Prime to watch this game, or is it going to be here on locally here still?
It'll be local for you guys. If you're in the market, it'll be on NBC or Fox or whatever it is.
Okay, good. Because I don't want.
I have Prime. Yeah.
Well, I got to buy Prime because that new Eddie Murphy Christmas movie comes out on December 1st, so I'm going to watch that. So I guess I would have to get Prime anyways, regardless.
But they may have like a free trial, so you could just if the movie comes out December 1st, then like wait until Thursday morning, then you could kill two birds with one stone. You could get the free trial and watch the game and the new movie, and then.
See, that'll work. Yeah,
cancel your trial.
Yeah, I plan on doing a review of that thing and stuff. So I'll try and get that whole thing rolling again. But anyways, it's always fun talking about Dallas Cowboy football with you guys. Do you have any final words to the people this evening, Lisa Lee?
I don't. Just don't say dumb shit. Like, that's it.
It's coming though. There's a timer coming. There's a timer somewhere right now as we speak. It's like at the end of that time clock, it says time to say more stupid shit. But
yeah, no doubt. And it's like people feel like they can't breathe if they don't make some polarizing clickbait-ish. And I'm talking to everybody across the board, whether you're a fan of this team or not. But it's like, I feel like you make yourself, if you're a fan of this team and you say something asinine, it increases the asininity by about 1,000%.
Yeah, it goes back to find yourself another team. That's what it goes back to, because there's literally people sitting there like in an Indian style, like rocking back and forth, waiting for Dak or somebody to mess up so they can say something or so they can make their post. And to me, it's just pretty sorry. How about you, Kyle? You have anything final to say to the people this evening?
No, I'm not saying this should be an easy win, but they should kill this team. I'm looking at the Seahawks last 4 games. They've lost 3 out of 4 of them. You know what I mean? They give up 37 points. They beat the Commanders by 3 points. They lost to the Rams, and they got crushed last Thursday night against the 49ers. I think Dallas smacks them. And those could be infamous last words, but I really do. I think Dallas brings it to them. So.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm feeling confident. For the first time in a long time, I'm feeling confident about this team. So.
Yeah, and see, that's a thing about me that's a thing that's like bothering me, because I have that level of confidence about this team, but it's like I feel like if I get too damn involved with it.
Yeah, it'll be the one game where they fumble 3 times and their interception. It's like and 3 missed field goals. Like, how the hell did this happen?
I feel like this is like a great relationship, and then all of a sudden they're gonna leave their phone unlocked one day, and I'm gonna see the messages.
You're gonna see the bag of collected toenails in the closet. Gross.
So, with that, I hope everybody had a great time listening to this program. We're glad that you guys tuned in to us, and we'll see you guys next time here on the Star Chronicles. How about them Cowboys?